Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spoiler Warning Podcast. This is review number 842 with a review of Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. I'm Christopher Schnese.
And I'm Stephen Miller.
And if you're joining us for the first time, the Spoiler Warning Podcast is a weekly film review program. Each week on the show, we're going to dive in, debate, discuss, and argue over the latest films coming to a theater near you. This week, we already had a review of The Invite, and now we are inviting you to a review of Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. Stephen, before we get started on this episode, do you think calling this Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass instead of the Celebrity Hall Pass is going to hurt the people going to see this movie at all, or help hurt the searchability for the film or anything? Why do you think they chose Sex Pass instead of Hall Pass for this film?
Great question. I have no idea. But my answer into whether it will help or hurt, I don't think it does anything at all. I assume by the time you've gotten past Gail Daughtry and the celebrity blank, you already you're basically I want to see the new David Wain movie, or I have never heard of this.
Yeah.
I kind of assume that's the situation you're in. I don't know if maybe there was a movie called Hall Pass specifically before, so maybe they're trying to distance from that in some way, but it's buried so deep into the title, I don't really know.
And that is probably most definitely true. But let me rephrase my question in a different way. This is the type of film that to your own answer originally is you've either never heard of this film ever, or you're already on board because you know what this film is, right? Mm-hmm. This is a film that's only going to succeed or fail based on word of mouth. And if you're somebody who is only listening to our review because it appears on YouTube in search results, YouTube may or may not be showing you the search result because it has the word sex in the title, right?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So is that affecting the word of mouthiness of reviews for the film that may or may not be positive?
Maybe. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe having the word sex in the title, inherently is going to make it harder for people to talk about the movie. I feel like I've seen it described just as Gail Daughtry before. I think even in the AMC app when I was looking for it, it was it showed me the full title, but it also showed me Gail Daughtry as an entry that just linked to the same thing.
They don't wrap text or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to find a more sanitized way of showing people it. But what's interesting is I watched this movie. I went to a 9:40 a.m. showing this morning, which was open caption, which means it was me and a bunch of old people. And there were a good number of old people who went out to see this movie. And I wish I had interviewed them after to be what brought you here? It isn't they were young when Wet Hot American Summer came out, or they were big The State fans. They were definitely much, much, much older than that.
Yeah, I even at the Alamo, I saw a bunch of old people walking into my screening. And when I say a bunch, I mean by percentage of the total.
By Alamo standards, yeah.
Because there were not a lot of people in my screening. Mine was it was a 7:25 screening in the evening, but it was still, or 7:15, but it was still, there were only, I don't know, it felt like 10 people in my screening. It was not very much. There was 6 people in my row, or there was 5 people in my row. There was 2 people on either side of me. And then there were people on the other side of the theater. And then there's a bunch of old people that came in, and I was kind of what are y'all here for? Because this seems not you're just all big John Hamm fans.
I mean, I got to tell you, in our review of The Invite, I was saying that everyone was laughing out loud. I have no idea what the older people thought of this movie.
Yeah,
I didn't get any indications the whole time of whether they were amused by it or horrified by it or feeling nothing. I really don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we find out what we thought of it?
Sure.
All right, let's take a listen to the trailer for Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass, and then let everybody know what we thought.
This is Willowbrook. I know everybody in this town, and I know all their stories. But no story is crazier than the story of Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass.
Tom?
Gail, I was just about to text you. This was my one free pass, remember?
Do you really think that we should do this?
Tom gave you a free pass, too.
That's true.
I had
a celebrity free pass thing with my fiancé, but he took it literally. So now I need to have sex with John Hamm to even out the score and save my relationship.
You did the D, now you gotta do the do.
Yes.
Gail needs to do the nasty with Mr. John Hamm ASAP.
I am so sorry that we got you fired. Hi, we're here to see John Hamm.
Do you have an appointment?
No, but I'm John.
Flattery. Yeah, I know.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Hey, y'all have a good day.
No, wait, come back.
Wait! Ow! 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 Move out the way! Ow! Hey, John Hamm!
Hello, Gail.
Daughtry.
How exactly did you get in here?
You are just a girl from Kansas trying to do I don't know what.
Have sex with John Hamm.
Like a celebrity pass thing?
Exactly.
Good luck with that. Kill her.
What?
It's got violence, intrigue, and espionage. I mean, the whole dang world's at stake.
Every time.
I said good day!
Who's ready to meet a Mr. Jonathan Hamm?
I'm ready to do a lot more than
Hey, I'm John. What's up?
All right, so that was the trailer for Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. Basically, Gail Daughtry is about 2 weeks out from her wedding ceremony. She's about to get married, and she finds out about this idea of having a, celebrity sex pass, where you decide the one celebrity that you can sleep with. No hard feelings. And her fiance takes it literally, sleeps with a certain celebrity, and she is very upset and decides that she has to go off on an adventure to sleep with her celebrity sex pass celebrity in order to even the score so that she can hopefully fix her relationship. And we watch the adventure as she goes and tries to accomplish this. Stephen Miller, what did you think of Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass?
Well, I'll get into what I think, but first I have breaking news from the critical analysis on Wikipedia that just blew this thing wide open for me. I have to quote it. Some critics noted the film's structural resemblance to The Wizard of Oz, arguing that its modern Hollywood setting functions as a loose satirical reimagining of the classic narrative. Did you notice any Wizard of Oz parallels? My mind is blown right now. I'm just kidding. The movie is like laying it on so fucking thick. I thought this movie was pretty fun and very, very silly and very stupid and exactly what I expected it to be, knowing it was like being made by the people from the state, kind of doing the thing that they've been doing for a long time. This is one of those movies that it doesn't really feel like a feature-length film, right? It feels more like an extended Comedy Central sketch thing crammed together into a narrative framework. But when you embrace that that's what it is, I had a good time. I kind of had the feeling I had with, I'm going to name a movie that I think is better, but in a similar genre, The Naked Gun last year, of just like, okay, I know what you're doing. I'm settling in for what you're doing. And if I embrace like that this is going to be a goofball comedy that is just going to throw a bunch of shit at me and hope the hit rate is good enough, like, I'm going to have fun. So I had plenty of chuckles watching this movie and the like ridiculous lengths that it goes. I will admit it took me some time to adjust to the movie's wavelength. I think The Invite kind of spoiled me. Yeah. And I was at first wanting this to actually be at least like satirically watching the strain of the relationship that leads to her wanting to fulfill her celebrity hall pass. Like I thought there was going to be a little bit more meat on the bone at the beginning. And instead the movie is just like, here's the premise. We're flying to Hollywood within 10 minutes. And the movie is all just going to be this quest to find John Hamm, right? Like that is the entirety of the movie. There's no interiority for Gail Daughtry. There's no examination or holding a mirror up to real relationships. This is just an offbeat comedy with a bunch of recognizable comic actors having a whole lot of fun and a good number of celebrities playing themselves in a way that I found amusing. Yeah, like I thought the cast was pretty funny in general. I always like when Ken Marino pops up in things, and him as the paparazzi guy, aka the Tin Man of this movie, I thought was pretty funny. John Slattery, really enjoy him just like steering into his post Mad Men career and like being willing to poke fun at himself. Maybe my biggest criticism of this movie, and this is a shot I will like point directly at John Hamm because he must be the only reason. No reference to the Hamaconda, no reference to John Hamm's penis. Like that must mean he just refuses to make fun of it because clearly like he has this whole public reputation that he could be playing off on. And I feel like he must just not have been down for it because there's no way the writers didn't like propose that they steer into that at some point during this movie. Like if this were a Curb Your Enthusiasm season, you bet your ass this would have come up. But I don't know. Is this a great movie? No. Like, do all the jokes land? No, of course not. But what I appreciated enough about it is it builds and builds and builds. Like some of the more ridiculous escalations happen very late in the movie. I would say it actually like goes out on its biggest escalation. And that feeling of like the movie just laying it on thicker and thicker and thicker over time, it made me giggle. It was a completely fine, straightforward comedy that just wants to make you laugh and have actors do funny things. I don't know. How did you feel about this movie?
Yeah, I mean, I feel similarly. I mean, this is a ridiculous film. Like it is, it knows exactly how ridiculous it is, and it is not trying to elevate itself above the shtick that it's going for. It is trying to lean heavily into the shtick. It knows exactly how silly it is, and it's going for jokes that are like it's like they're so simplistic that it's almost clever in how simplistic it is. Like there's a scene where people are trying to like hack to find somebody's location, and they pull up somebody's Instagram, and they're like out in front of the Chinese theater, and they're like, oh no, where are they at? Oh, I don't know where this could be. It's like somewhere in Asia or whatever. Right. it's like jokes like that, right? Where it's like it's like one of those things where it's like, oh my God, but it's still kind of funny, or it is a very, very silly theater. Like, honestly, one of the things that to me is like the funniest thing about this film is how simplistically they get into the actual construct of how the first infraction happens with the couple. like the way they play into how the names get on the list and how simplistically it's like, oh yeah, here's a person, why don't you just put this person on your list? And it's like, oh, why not? And then it's immediately within 30 seconds, like the list is checked off. And it's like, how could this happen? And it's like, because it needs to happen so the movie can get going. It's almost like the runtime doesn't allow for us to have a setup for the film. So we just say that it happened and then go like, so those are the kind of things where like this film is just like, let's rush into the plot. Let's keep adding characters along the way and just let the posse keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and have the stakes keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think that all in all, if you could see this in like a massive audience where like over time the crowd begins to infect each other with like enough, like if you could have like 10% of the crowd is laughing, and then over the course of the runtime it begins to grow to like 20%, 30%. I think by the end this film can really win over a room, right? Because as you said, you had to kind of calibrate to like the silliness of what this film was doing. I think at home, if you were watching this as like a rental, it's not going to hit the way it could in a crowd. But like,
I'm imagining Joanna like barely cracking a smile the whole movie,
like getting up to go make some more coffee or something in the middle of it. No, this is the good part. Sit down. Yeah. But like in the theater, even things that I thought were funny, if the one other person in the theater laughs way harder than I'm chuckling, it makes it less funny to me because it feels like it's like an isolated thing, so it's like this is really a thing that needs a room of people vibing with it. And I think that with the lack of like, I literally saw the trailer for this for the first time before the invite, and then saw this movie the next day after we were texting and we're like, yeah, we could throw this on. You know what I mean? Like, so it's basically like a thing where it's like, I don't know how to encourage people to see it without encouraging a lot of people to see it, so that you could have the real experience of like having everybody vibe together with it. Because I was literally sandwiched between like two couples watching it, and like one couple really, really liked it, and one couple was like not as much into it, and then I was kind of just like chuckling sometimes. It was kind of like, it's just like a weird experience watching it where I'm like, I think this movie is funny. It's just I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's very dumb funny. You know, this is the kind of movie where a lot of the jokes are, the joke is that the camera lingers and it goes on for longer than it should, right? Like it's the kind, I think if I like had to peg what the genre is, this is a satire of sex comedies, right? Like you mentioned a normal movie, like the premise of how did the first hall pass get fulfilled would be a whole thing, and here it like just happens in the most contrived way imaginable. This is almost like, okay, you know those movies where there's some joke like a hall pass. Here we're just going to blow that up and make fun of it by making everything like insanely contrived, and everyone immediately knows what the hall pass is and has zero questions about it. You know, and that is just a very niche brand of humor. I mean, I remember, did we review They Came Together when that came out? Do you remember the Paul Rudd, Amy Poehler? It was also David Wain. Yeah, so that was like a satire of rom-coms, and it was kind of very similar in the like everything is unbelievably corny and stupid, and the joke is like that they're making this movie, you know? And that works on me. There's a ceiling to how well that can work on me, but I'm glad it exists, and I don't know how it got theatrical distribution, to be honest. I don't know what that business plan is, but even though I was in a tiny audience of older people where no one made any noises, I was still glad to see it in theaters. I think it forced me to pay attention and laugh in a way that if I was at home, I would probably like get bored and start feeling the pull of my phone, or, you know, walk over to the kitchen to make coffee and be like, I don't need to pause it, you know? And being forced to sit with the movie's wavelength for a while, I think does help the comedy land.
I will say, to this movie's credit, and this is maybe a little bit of a spoiler, but there is a context in this film where a film pitch is supposed to be made, and I got very scared that the film pitch was going to be the movie we are watching, and that's one of my pet peeves.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank God that it wasn't pitching the movie we're watching.
Right. Yeah, it certainly isn't. Instead, it is steering into another one of those ridiculous jokes where the pitch is a pile of paper.
Yeah. Which is at least better than like it being like the best idea in the world, but like we don't get to hear what the best idea is because they can't write one that's the best idea, because they would have made that movie if if they could have come up with it.
Now, in my mapping of this onto The Wizard of Oz, which is very obviously intentional, I guess the one thing I struggle with is Otto must be Toto, right? Like the gay hairdresser, like just from his name, Toto is the only character that would fit. But I don't know in what sense he's Toto,
sure.
You know?
Guess he shares the most letters.
Yeah, I mean, naming, because otherwise you have Karate Kid, clearly needs a brain, Scarecrow, you know. Ken Marino, paparazzi guy, needs to be more in touch with his emotions. He needs the heart. John Slattery is the cowardly lion, you know. He needs to be more brave. It all works. It all works beautifully, except who is the hairdresser? I don't know.
Does Karate Kid need a brain? Because I thought he's the one that has all the... He kind of already has like the...
He's the smooth talker. He just needs to be more smooth. But okay, when I'm just gonna go full spoilers because who gives a fuck? Like when nobody cares about spoilers. When they're pitching John Hamm, each of them contributes to the pitch. And he's like, okay, but it needs to be smart. And that's when Karate Kid weighs in. And he's like, okay, but there needs to be some heart. And that's when Ken Marino weighs in. And he's like, okay, but it needs to be something oomph, some masculinity. And that's when John Slattery weighs in. So like they're clearly trying to draw that
Gotcha.
comparison. In a very like loosely connected way. But,
makes sense.
Yeah. And it's funny that this is the second movie in like 8 months I've seen that features both Penn Jillette and a member of Shark Tank. So that's something.
Yeah. Did you see Alamo had another screening of it?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah. There's a 70 millimeter Marty Supreme.
Though that explains, because in Seoul, when I was looking at whether any new movies were available to watch, then they weren't, but Marty Supreme was playing in a bunch of places. And I was like, that's weird. Did they just get Marty Supreme now? But I guess it must be the 70 millimeter version.
Anywho.
Yep. That's all I've got on Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass.
Yeah. So last question is who's... No,
yep. Who would be my pass?
All right. Should we get to verdict, Steven?
Sure.
All right. If you're going to give us a must-see, recommend with the caveat, wait for rental, pass with the caveat, or must avoid, what would you give it?
I'm going to generously give it a wait for rental. Like, this isn't a great movie by any means. And there have, like, I want to compare this to other comedies that are just trying to be, we are comedy in the broad sense of the word. Like Cocaine Bear, way better than Cocaine Bear. Renfield, way better than Renfield. Naked Gun, not as good as Naked Gun. Like, this is squarely in the middle. It's a rental. And yet I am glad that it exists. I'm glad that people are still churning out this kind of comedy because it just is not in vogue anymore. And it does, like, it scratches an itch that I like to be scratched. So watch it. To your point, you don't have to race out and catch it, unless you could get it in a crowded theater, which you probably won't. But I do think it's worth having a chuckle. And, maybe it'll play for you, maybe it won't. But at least the audacity of the construction and the way it kind of like builds and builds and builds, and the third act becomes the craziest rather than just a retread. I think there is amusement to be had.
Man, I don't know if I can stand for this Renfield hate. Renfield's like a real movie.
No, it isn't.
I'm gonna go back and rewatch Renfield. It's I'm gonna give it, even though I was saying this is not gonna work renting it at home, I still like quality wise it's a wait for rental. Just like, I don't know, fill your house with like enough people that you can laugh together.
Yeah.
I don't know, invite your upstairs neighbors and then tell them that you're on their pass. They're on your path. Sorry. Whatever the sentence is. Yeah. But yeah. So, yeah. Wait for rental. I had enough fun with it. I think it's enjoyable. It's a fun film. It's just it knows exactly what it is. Yeah. It's like everybody making this film had a lot of fun. You can tell they had a lot of fun with it. It's just one of those things where like it's not. It is not, there's not a single serious bone in this film's body.
Right.
It's not even trying to like be fun in a serious film. It is straight up just like this. We know how ridiculous this is, and nobody in this film is a realistic person. Nothing in the story is realistic. Everything is just the most heightened thing. So yeah. All right. Yep. I think that's going to do it for our review of, what's her name? Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. Stephen Miller, if people want to find you throughout the week, where can they do that?
People can find me at Blue Sky at sdavidmiller or sdavidmiller.com.
People can find me at ChristopherMillerLife.com or ChristopherIRL and a number of social platforms. You can find the podcast over at thespoilerwarning.com where you can get a bunch of the back episode of the show. If you want to subscribe to the show, you can do so on Overcast, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever podcasts are found. If you want to know when the episodes go live, you can follow us at twitter.com/spoilerwarning, facebook.com/thespoilerwarning, or instagram.com/thespoilerwarning. If you want to get a hold of us directly, you can send an email to fans@thespoilerwarning.com, or you can use the contact form on our site. Music for this episode will come from a track selected from artlist.io, so hopefully you're enjoying that. And yeah, that's it for now. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.